Have you ever thought about what the world looks like to a child, a 2-year-old child, and what they experience in terms of their life? We're going to look at that today and see how it affects us as adults and how it might affect us as teachers and how it might affect us as somebody wanting to look for a different type of future. So welcome to Thursday Aspirations, a time, a place and a space for teachers seeking a brighter future. And as I suggested just now, we were going to consider the mind of the child, because the mind of the child is there inside us, like the very inner part of a Russian doll, you know, the very little figure that you get when you've taken all the other outer shells off. But it's extremely powerful, and when we recognize how powerful it is, then it can actually be of great benefit to us in understanding how our own mind works. So picture yourself for a moment, if you can. Some people can remember back to when they were aged 1.5 or 2. Many people can't at all, but you can imagine how it must be for a child who is so much smaller than the adults around them. And here are these huge giants sharing words, conversation, that they're all powerful in the life of a child. All good things and many bad things can entirely originate from those adults. But the child, if you think about it, is not rational at that age. That the age of reason doesn't really enter into a child until about 11 or 12, as you will know as teachers and having probably studied Piaget. You know that it's around about the age of 11 or 12 that you can say the child obtains reason. And certainly before the age of 5 or 4, the child has a very hazy understanding of logic. And therefore, what is said to the child and what the child experiences goes in incredibly deep. And because it comes from these all-powerful, godlike people that are surrounding it, that are picking it up, that are tossing it in the air, as we see in this picture, and who say things to it, and these words that the parents may long forget go deep inside the child of what you can do and what you can't do, what your limitations are, and so on. And it's worth recognizing sometimes as adults, when we are cautious or fearful or risk adverse, that we may simply be responding to those admonitions, those words, those actions of our parents or significant others who raised us. But we took those teachings in, we took those possibilities in a completely irrational mind. So they hold us in a way that is irrational. But if we can surface them, if we can see what are some of these beliefs that we hold very deeply, or some of the emotional responses that we have, without having to go in any great depth in psychotherapy, just understanding that some of the voices we hear inside our head of suggesting what might happen if we try this, or what might happen if we try that, stems from this time when we were irrational. And we can look at what we say to ourselves and realize that what we say to ourselves may be just something we swallowed wholesale when we were age 2, and we don't have to live by it anymore. Over the summer, the Personal Thursday Aspirations will continue to meet at 7 o'clock. So hope to see you then, and with more similar points as we've shared tonight.